Hello there. This is an Opinel number 6 a friend of mine sent me. We're going to do a honing on this blade, a sharpening on this blade. This blade is dull as all get out. A friend of mine that got this for me purchased one himself. He said his is really sharp. And I'm just wiping some oil off of that blade that I put on there before I stored it. What we're going to do is this blade is really thin, and I don't see the reason to subject it to a very coarse stone. I believe that in this case a soft Arkansas will do everything I need it to do. So we're going to do that and see. So what's everybody up to? I hope you're sharpening blades and having a great time doing it. When I first started sharpening, this is what I started with. Now, through the years, you know, as a boy, I would pretty much use whatever stone I could get. They usually one that either didn't cost very much or was free, and I can't remember where that first small Arkansas stone that I had came from. But I've used through the years that Arkansas and silicon carbide stones and aluminum oxide India stones, or crystalline stones, or their equivalent from other manufacturers, just whatever I could get to. There was a point when I used a little round puck, sharpening puck, silicon carbide, that is used lovely. To sharpen like a hatchet or something, or an axe, something like that. So I've used a lot, but this particular stone, and I know I keep harping on it, but I absolutely love a soft Arkansas stone. They are absolutely lovely knife sharpeners. If I had to recommend one single stone for someone who was sharpening knives, it would be this, or a fine India, depending on the edge that you want. If you're sharpening thicker blades, things like that, this stone would take longer to get an edge, but you can mitigate that by and make this stone cut a bit faster by prepping the surface of this stone in a different kind of way. But on something like this small little edge, something like a soft Arkansas will do wonders on a stone like this, or on an edge like this. And one of the reasons that I love this stone is because it is so versatile. But one of these knives, one of the beautiful things about a knife like this is that the blade is thin enough to where it will sharpen very quickly. And give you a scalding edge. And that's like, I think it's Mora. There's a knife company, I believe it's Mora, that a lot of the bushcrafter kind of people, that's like a starter knife for a lot of them, and it's just a knife period that even extensively experienced bushcraft people still use that knife. They don't ever upgrade. And one of the things about the Mora is also the thinness of the blade. It's easy to get an edge on that knife. And I mean, it depends on what you want. If you need a beefy edge, then by all means get a kind of a beefy knife. That's why there are so many knives out there, and that's why the world of knife collecting and knife using and knife sharpening and all of that is as cool as it is, because there are so many designs out there. But most of you guys know I like all kinds of knives, and I have bigger knives and smaller knives, but for probably 90% of my daily use cases, a small little knife like this, lovely, does everything I need it to do. We got burr, a friend of mine that got me this, he mentioned a very tiny bevel that this blade has got on it. If you look, I don't know if I can show it to you or not, and I still got some burr. No, that's gone, I think, but I'm gonna sharpen it some more. If you look, I mean, it's still, whoa, almost sliced my finger open. It's still a small bevel. And I've not used any special bevel angle or anything like that. In this circumstance, I really could not feel that bevel because it was so small. So I simply just chose a fairly shallow, and I call it shallow when the back of the blade is closer to the stone. A lot of people would call something like that shallow. 6 of one, half dozen the other. You call it what you want to, I'll call it what I want to. But I like that flatter, or I chose a flatter profile for this edge because it was so thin. Alright, I believe that's got her. What I'm going to do now is hit some chromium oxide. With one of these blades, you don't want to use a lot of pressure because you see how that blade flexes? You don't need it to flex. you want to hit the apex of that edge. So you don't want the blade to flex. You want to use a slight bit of pressure so that the blade will stay on the strop properly. But after that, you're working cross purposes if you flex this blade too much. So a nice hair shaving edge. Opinel number 6. Thanks for watching.